New at 6, nowhere in the entire country are more people falling victim to car thieves than here in Colorado. The number of thefts has spiked 88% in the past couple of years. Aurora has seen a 239% increase over that same period. Well, now an Aurora City Council member is calling for mandatory jail time for people who steal cars. Our political specialist, Sean Boyd, more right now on the efforts to stop the crooks. Sean, this would certainly result in a lot of folks going to jail.
More than 5,000 people a year, Jim. You know, car thefts are already up 25% in Aurora over last year. Under state law, many of those car thieves get a misdemeanor and pay a fine. Under the proposed ordinance, they'd go to jail. There are car thieves, and then investigators say there is Timothy Mundell. He's charged with stealing or trying to steal 10 cars in 2 years. And you ask Aurora City Councilman Dustin Zvonek, there's no reason to think he'll stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, what we've seen in the past 6 or 7 years is a systematic decriminalization of car theft.
In 2014, any auto theft of more than $500 was a felony under state law. Now, a car has to be worth more than $2,000 or it's a misdemeanor.
But what's essentially happened as a result of state laws becoming so permissive is that stealing cars is like stealing a pocket watch.
If the state won't crack down, Zvonek says this city has to. He plans to introduce an ordinance requiring a minimum mandatory sentence of 60 days in jail for a first-time offender, with repeat offenders serving even more time.
This will be the deterrence to keep people from stealing cars in Aurora.
There is already jail time and potentially prison time under state law.
Public policy analyst Denise Maya says stiffer penalties aren't the answer.
The underlying problem related to car thefts is usually drugs. So why don't you throw good dollars after good policies and address the core problem instead of spending taxpayer dollars on something that doesn't give you good results?
A lot of tax dollars. In Arapahoe County, a 60-day jail stay costs $7,680. Zvonek says the cost of doing nothing will be far greater.
Motor vehicle theft is not just a property crime because people who are stealing cars, they're not just going and joyriding. They're using these cars to commit other crimes. I want to send the message that Aurora is the most punitive city in the state to steal a car. So don't come steal cars here because you're going to go to jail.
Maya says spending the tax dollars to address the root causes of crime like homelessness, mental illness, and drug addiction would go a lot further. The proposed ordinance also requires a mandatory jail time for those car thieves who fail to show up for their court appearances and hefty fines to help car owners pay the impound fees when their cars are recovered. The sheriffs in both Adams and Arapahoe counties where those car thieves would be jailed say they support stiffer penalties. Zvonek plans to introduce his ordinance at the Public Safety Committee hearing next week. Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.